I never thought I'd be the man who'd betray a husband I'd never met. My name's Lucas, and this is my confession, raw and unfiltered, a story of desire so fierce it burned through my soul and left me in ruins. If you're watching, you're already hooked, drawn to a sin that feels like salvation until it's a chain around your heart. This isn't about love or redemption, it's about hunger, the kind that blinds you and begs you to fall. Stay with me because this one's going to sear your soul. It's a tale of rain lust and a betrayal I couldn't hide. It was a drizzly October morning in Seattle, Washington, the kind of rain that soaks you slow and steady like a whisper of regret. I was 27, a mail carrier trudging through my route with packages and letters, my life a cycle of routine and solitude. That's when I started delivering to Willow Lane, to a small craftsman house where Nora lived, a 32-year-old woman whose husband James was deployed overseas, a soldier sending gifts from afar. Nora was a spark in the gray, all soft curls and warm eyes, her cardigan hugging curves that made the rain feel less cold. I'd been delivering his packages, letters, trinkets, a necklace once, each one a reminder of a man I didn't know. That day she opened the door, her smile bright despite the drizzle, her voice soft as she took the latest package, a small box wrapped in brown paper. "You're always so reliable, Lucas," she said, her eyes hazel and inviting, lingering a moment too long. My pulse raced, my hands itching to linger, but I nodded, my raincoat dripping my wedding ring, a faint weight from a girlfriend I hadn't proposed to yet. The street was quiet, the rain a steady hum, the houses blurred in the mist. Nora invited me in for coffee, a break from the chill, she said. I should have said no, kept walking, but her warmth, her scent, lavender and rain, pulled me inside. The house was cozy, filled with photos of James, his uniform proud, his absence heavy. She poured coffee, her fingers brushing mine as she handed me the mug, a spark that set my nerves alight. My breath caught my skin, flushing despite the damp. "You're taken," she said, glancing at my ring, her tone curious, not judging. I nodded, my throat tight, my mind screaming to leave. "Does she make you feel alive?" she asked, stepping closer, her cardigan slipping off one shoulder, revealing skin that glowed in the dim light. The question was a flame, igniting a fire I hadn't known was there. I didn't answer, but my silence was a confession. Her smile was slow, dangerous, like she'd already claimed me. The rain tapped the windows, the house a cocoon shielding us from the world. Nora's hand grazed my arm, her fingers warm against my damp skin. A spark that burned through the chill. My heart pounded, a traitor, as her eyes held mine, daring me to fall. "Tell me to stop," she whispered, her lips inches from mine, her breath warm with coffee and want. I didn't. My hands found her waist, the wool soft under my fingers, her body pressing closer. The rain grew louder, the photos of James watching, and I was already lost. Her kiss was a collision, fierce and hungry, tasting of coffee and sin. My hands slid up her back, pulling her against me, the kitchen counter cold behind her. The rain was relentless, a curtain hiding our sin as her lips moved to my neck, her teeth grazing each bite, a pulse of pleasure and pain. I was drowning, and Nora was the tide pulling me deeper into a sea of want. The house was a haze, James's packages a silent accusation, leaving only her heat, her hunger. Her kiss was a wildfire burning through every thought of my girlfriend Mia. Nora's hands were bold, tugging at my raincoat, her nails grazing my skin through my shirt. The kitchen was a haze, the rain's rhythm casting shadows that danced like ghosts. My hands roamed her waist, the cardigan slipping under my fingers, revealing smooth skin that burned under my touch. The storm's hum matched my racing heart, the air thick with rain and desire. Her lips were everywhere, my jaw, my throat, each kiss a claim, each touch a vow broken. I pulled her toward the living room, the couch soft under our weight, the rain shielding us from the world. Her cardigan was gone, discarded in the haze, revealing lace that made my breath catch. My hands slid lower, tracing her hips, her gasps sharp in the quiet house. The guilt was there, sharp and cold, but it only fueled the fire, made every touch more desperate, more dangerous. Her hands were on my chest now, unbuttoning my shirt, her nails leaving trails of fire on my skin. The house was our world, the rain a barrier to the outside. I lifted her onto the couch, her legs wrapping around me, the lace a tease I couldn't resist. Her lips found mine again, hungry, demanding, tasting of lavender and want. My hands slid under her lace, her skin warm and soft, her breath hitching as my fingers found her. The rain tapped the windows, their rhythm painting us in shadow, and light turning our sin into something almost beautiful. But it wasn't. It was raw, desperate, a collision of need and guilt. Nora. I murmured her name, a spell pulling me deeper, her fingers tangled in my hair, her body arching into mine, a demand I couldn't resist. The storm grew louder, the wind rattling the windows as my hands gripped her thighs, her lace a barrier I wanted to tear away. The pleasure was building a storm of its own, raw and relentless, edged with the guilt I couldn't outrun. When it happened, it was a collision, a wave crashing over me. Her cries were sharp, muffled by the rain, my hands holding her tight, our bodies moving as one. The pleasure was fierce, overwhelming, a betrayal that felt like salvation. The rain was relentless, James's packages on the table, a silent accusation, but her heat was a furnace consuming me. The house watched silent as we crossed a line I'd never meant to touch. It was everything, every ache, every want, every secret I'd buried. Afterward, we stayed there, tangled, breathless, the air heavy with the scent of rain and us. Nora's hair spilled across my chest, her fingers tracing my jaw, her eyes half closed with satisfaction. The guilt crashed in a tidal wave, but her warmth held it at bay, a lie I wanted to believe. "This can't happen again," I said, my voice rough, unconvincing. She laughed, soft and wicked, her lips brushing my ear. "You don't mean that," she said, and damn her, she was right. The rain didn't stop, and neither did the weight of what I'd done. I left Nora's house, my raincoat dripping her scent, lavender, and sin clinging to me. Mia was at our apartment cooking dinner, her smile warm, trusting a knife in my chest. I joined her, my hand on her back, but it felt like a lie, my fingers still burning with Nora's touch. I wanted to confess, to beg for forgiveness, but the words choked me. The rain tapped the windows, a mirror of the chaos inside me. I saw Nora again the next day on my route, her eyes catching mine as she took another package from James. She didn't speak, just brushed past me, her hand grazing my arm, a spark that set my blood on fire. I told myself to stop delivering to her house, to be the man Mia deserved, but when she texted midnight. My porch, my body had other plans. The porch was dark, the rain falling harder, her silhouette waiting in the shadows. Her kiss was fiercer now, desperate, her hands tearing at my jacket, my shirt. The rain soaked us, her dress clinging to her, revealing lace that glowed in the dim light. My hands roamed her body, greedy, memorizing every curve, every shudder. The storm's roar hid our sin, but the guilt was there, sharper now, a blade I couldn't outrun. Her lips found my throat, her hands sliding under my jeans, her touch a brand I'd never erase. The pleasure was raw-edged with pain, a betrayal that felt like salvation. Mia grew suspicious. "You're distant, Lucas," she said one night, her hand on mine, her eyes searching for the man she loved. I froze, her touch so different from Nora's gentle, where Nora was wild. Just tired, I lied, my voice tight, my mind flashing to the porch, Nora's hands on my skin. Mia's frown deepened, her fingers brushing my ring, and I thought she saw the truth. "I love you," she said, and the words were a weight crushing me. Nora pushed harder. "Leave her," she said, her voice sharp, her hands gripping my shoulders on the porch, the rain dripping from her hair. "Leave Mia burn my life for a woman whose husband was fighting overseas." The idea was madness, but for a moment I saw it a life with Nora wild and free. Then Mia's face flashed in my mind, her trust, her love, and I pulled away, shaking. I told Nora it was over. She stood on the porch, her eyes blazing, her dress soaked, clinging to her sweat-slicked skin. "You'll always want me?" she said, her voice a promise, a threat. She left a letter behind meant for James, her perfume clinging to it, tucked into my bag. I should have mailed it, but I kept it hidden in my truck, a secret that burned. The Seattle rain lingered, and so did my hunger, a fire I couldn't extinguish. Mia grew quieter, her questions sharper. "Whose perfume is this?" she asked one night, holding my jacket, her voice trembling. I lied, said it was a co-worker's, but her eyes saw through me. She didn't push, just walked away, the silence louder than any scream. I tried to be the man she deserved, cooking dinner, holding her tighter, but Nora's face was there in every shadow, every dream. One last time I saw her, a delivery, the rain pounding, Nora at her door, her eyes locked on mine. She pulled me inside, her lips on mine, her hands tearing at my shirt. The lace fell away, her touch, fierce, desperate, the room spinning with our heat. My cries were sharp, drowned by the rain, the pleasure raw, edged with pain. The guilt was a spotlight burning through me, but I couldn't stop. It ended with a discovery. Mia found the letter, her voice breaking as she held it up. "Who is she, Lucas?" she asked, her eyes wet, her hands shaking. I couldn't lie anymore. I told her everything, the words spilling like blood, each one a wound. She left the door slamming, the silence deafening. James came home weeks later, his face hard, saying Nora had confessed. I was alone, the letter in my hand, her scent a ghost I'd never escape. This is my story, a warning to anyone who thinks they can dance with fire and not get burned. If you've watched this far, you know that hunger, that ache for what you shouldn't want. So hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, call me a fool, a sinner, or just a man who fell. Like the video, or don't, but share it with someone who's felt temptation's sting. Check out my other stories. They're just as raw, just as real. Ever been seduced by a forbidden touch? Spill your secrets below, I'm listening and I've been there.